How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're at or when you're watching this. I'm Sifu Z. This is the Sifu Z channel, and this is the Sifu Z live stream. Wow, Sifu Z's in there. Today, I'm going to have clean glasses. Here we are. Today, we have a return guest. If all things go well, we have a return guest, Ramon Bostic, exercise guru, GJJ. I was going to say BJJ, but actually it's GJJ and a GJJ practitioner. If you don't know what that is, that's Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which is also known in some parts as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but they're different factions. And yes, Jiu-Jitsu, you heard that right. Jiu-Jitsu invented, well, Jiu-Jitsu proper comes from Japan, and it was taught from a Japanese migrant to Brazil. It was taught in Brazil, and the Gracie family became wildly successful teaching their brand or their take on Japanese jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is interesting. It has different names, ways of spelling. J-U, J-U-I, yeah, yeah, Jiu-Jitsu, and Jitsu spelled differently as well. Kind of like Wing Chun. Wing Chun is spelled a few different ways, at least. Wing with a W, Ving with a V, and Chun with a C, or Chun, T-S. The way that we spell Wing Chun and say Wing Chun is probably highly anglicized. But then again, it's how my Sifu says it. Wing Chun, Wing Chun. Yeah, Wing Chun. So we say Chun, and Chun is probably the way it's said more proper. But we say Wing Chun. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. That's chisel. Now, I'm going to get my mat out here. By the way, you know, as a nomad, as a traveler, as someone that lives in a small vehicle and tries to keep my possessions down to a minimum, I can't really carry a mat around. I suppose I could put my mat in the vehicle if it would fit. Here he is. Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Aloha. Hey, now I'm going to put my earpiece in because you'll be able to tell me if it's working or not.
Okay.
Test 1, 2.
I can hear you.
All right. How you doing?
Well, doing all right. How about yourself?
Oh, well, pretty good. I was just talking about you, so your ears were probably ringing. Good. The picture, the picture in the background, that looks really nice.
Thank you. I'm in my office now, so this is kind of because I moved here from San Francisco. I think I told you, so it's just like a little memory of where I lived for a decade and a half.
Yeah, I miss in ways I miss San Francisco. But you and I could probably agree it's probably not the same San Francisco that we were.
That's the thing that like as you get older, you start to you get or I get confused. You start like remembering the good things, and people ask me, like, "Did you move to San Francisco?" I'm like, "No," and then I realize like I love San Francisco. I love my San Francisco life of 10 years ago. If I lived there today, like and you went back, like in your mind, you're like you think it's the same San Francisco of whenever you were there before, of the good times. It's like it wouldn't be. It just
Right.
that's memories in general. Like you tend to hold on to. It's like coming out of a bad relationship, and 10 years later, and you really think about it, and you're like, or you see them again, and you have a little conversation like, oh yeah, that's why we broke up. No, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I it's funny you say that because I've played that in my head. I play that in my head every once in a while, certain relationships, but it's not actually a relationship now. It's just relationships in general. It's not a place, but places in general. Like I know better to like just stay in one place. I know better to get into certain types of relationships, unless of course certain things are in place.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll stay in one place. Where's my castle? Where's my helicopter? Where's my Maserati? Because I don't even know what one looks like, so I just want to have one so I know what it looks like. If if I'm not getting all those things, I don't want any of it.
I mean, I'm thinking like if this, and that's why I tell you, that's why it's so. People often, will talk about being older and single. It's not. It's more so like at this stage in your life, like you know who you are, and by and large, you kind of like your own company. So it's like
Mm.
it just the priority lessens because like I kind of like me. I like hanging out with me. Like I'm good, I was like when you're younger, your view is just different. I remember I was probably in my 40s. I had this client who was turning 60. I was probably, I don't know, 45 at the time. And I remember asking him, like, what is different now at 60 than at 45 or 40, I think I said at the time. And he was like, I've learned to accept myself. And I can't really get what that meant at the time. But now that I'm closer to that bracket, I really get what it means. Like, at the end of the day, like, you are who you are. It's like the core of you is always going to be who you are. People say you can change, yes, but it's within the confines of just who you are as a person, and that that constraint is not bad. It's just like if look, I like having chocolate chip cookies in the morning, and that's just who I am. Have them, like it's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. Like that's who you are. Don't hurt anything. Don't hurt anything. It's like, hey, go for it.
You might want to look it up. There could be a group. There could be a group, that's trying to stop people like yourself from eating those chocolate chips in the morning. They're like, no, 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 no. Uh, you know, uh, the something that I should say hi to the folks down below. Uh, God, that sounds interesting. Stay uh, hey Jake Salembo, what's up? TW78, bro. Hell nah, no, boo, boo. Oh boy. I guess they're even here. There we go. Oh, there we go. I think we've got some workers gathering the troops to do the thing.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, let me just take care of that real quick. There we go. Uh in my relationships, I've always kind of preached this, felt this. Of course, I didn't practice it, but it was weird to me that two people would get together and then be bigoted against everyone else. It was kind of weird to me that it's like, really, I'm a very loving person, and you're you, the person I'm with, really wants to kind of rein that in and kind of, keep as much. And that's not the nature of love. The nature of love is when you kind of put it out there, it then grows. So it was such an interesting journey and a long journey of knowing the right thing, um, and finally coming to the point of doing the right thing, which was, listen, don't pretend that you're giving all of your love to one person. It's just not true. I just love too many dang people, and and of course, sex kind of will complicate things in that respect as well, because people think that the sex thing is interesting. In my last relationship, I had suspected there was cheating going on, but I was just about to become the person that I am now. So honestly, it felt that, well, gosh, I hope everything's okay. You know? Like with and, and just whatever is going on, that's in your world, you know? Um, I'm acting as moderator as I speak here, so, pardon me if I seem a little distracted. Um, yeah, so, uh, uh no, thinking that, okay, they may be doing something with someone else, right? And it almost didn't matter what it was. What mattered was there was somewhat of a double standard going on, but hey, we all know about double standards. They feel so good. they're hard to resist. So you have empathy for the person. It's like, oh, I've never had double standards. How dare you? Right? As just to bird hop a little bit, from a friend of mine, he was talking about how he had gotten in San Francisco, somebody stole something from him right out of his hand and ran and took it. And he was able to, track it and whatnot. And he was talking about how he just hates thieves. And I'm like, oh my. Because I remember back in the day, you used to make a certain living doing a certain thing. I ain't gonna say no mo, no mo. But I wouldn't get too hard on the thieves. Hate's a strong word. Um, so yeah, the cheating thing. Well, yeah. Oh, I've never cheated, or even I've never really wanted to cheat. Oh, come on, right? You know. So yeah, as you mature, you start kind of seeing, no, I'm in this relationship for other reasons, and then you realize that little 1 to 3 hours section daily, if you're lucky, if you're both lucky, right? Is such a small portion of the 24 of the hours.
Mhm.
And then you got the rest of it, right? And uh, if you have that monogamous or that sort of relationship, how does it even grow if you're not expressing love to others? You know, it's almost like, heck, you're lonely. Let's say you're lonely. You see two people and they're getting along with each other and they're just ignoring you. They could give to, they don't even know you exist. And come on, we're human. That's animosity. That's like, maybe he might not do something to you, but that person's probably gonna pay it forward. I always say people go to bars because they want contact of some sort or another. If they can't, if they can't hump, is that a good word? If they can't hump, they'll fight, sort of thing. That's I don't want to I don't want to express myself linguistically too hard here. uh yeah, so there you have it. It was one of those things where I finally and I don't know how this individual feels, but um because there was no indicators of my going. It was just, you know what, my gift to you is all the possessions. You're a very possession, rich person. So I give you all my possessions. I need a few things here and there, and then boom, out. No, not even a minute's notice, you know, because once you're there, then not even a second more here. No, not for you, not for me, because your love needs to grow, my love needs to grow, and we need to really create a loving world around us. And that's not to say that we all need to be huggy kissy. I call it aloha. I think aloha is a much better word than love. It's really what I want to say is aloha, because aloha expresses both hello and goodbye. There's even a thing called tough aloha, where you might even not even recognize aloha. you know? But it all comes from aloha in Hawaii. The whole culture, why you hear aloha all the time, is because everything comes from aloha. Aloha, ha, ha mean is the breath of life. You know, and aloe is a plant you rub on you. Yeah. um, and then of course that happens with places too. You fall in love with a place or a space,
Mhm.
and then, well, that's my space. Let's Yeah, that's I want to buy, I want to possess, I want to have that space, you know? And and so I had to that was an easier thing to get over.
Mhm.
But I tell you, if there is a great creator up above or below, boy, was I being tested, because, like, oh, really? You don't need things, huh? Okay, for this last little bout, let's give you, oh, 7 houses, two of them in Hawaii, and dot 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 the dream. Okay, there you go. You gonna walk away from that? Dang, dang! There's my helicopters. There's my castle. Oh, dang! Yeah, I gotta walk away from that. I gotta. I got to. I got to. And I'm not downing anybody's journey. If that's your journey, that's the things that you want, that's the things that make you happy. Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely. A lot of times the message gets misconstrued, as if I'm trying to preach some sort of piety or whatever. No, 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 no. That was preached to me. I'm just trying to live it. you know? Uh yeah, yeah, that's just what feels good to me. As a gung fu guy, it feels good. It feels good to be able to travel light It feels good to be able to spread love to everybody, even when I'm fighting. I get attacked often on the streets. It's kind of weird, bizarre, but I'm in a very racist area, and they love to throw the N word around here, and the G word and the N words and all that stuff. Oh, it's wonderful.
Mhm.
Because there's such hatred and such ignorance and such arrogance. Where else should I be? It's so wonderful. And then, and I'm not going to beat them up because they're saying bad things against me.
Mm.
No. I'm going to invite them to beat me up, and they're going to experience what love really is. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna unnecessarily hurt them. I'm a professional, damn it. Right? So and I'm not gonna have this anger in my face like, ah, yeah, yeah. No, no, come, come. Yeah, right. Like Bruce Lee would say, except I say it a little differently. I'm double-handed. And nice and flat. Here, come, come. Not, come. No, 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 no. We all know if you do this, right? Well, we might not all know. I assume the world knows everything and I know hardly anything, right? So, but we all know. I said it again, right? And in other words, you in a fight, okay, you might take have stance, switch stance, move around, okay.
Mhm.
Um, but in a self-defense situation, you didn't even know it was coming. If you knew it was coming, you'd be like, okay,
Right.
right? You didn't even know it was coming. So you're just standing there like this. Maybe you're drinking your latte, your matcha, and then next thing you bam, whoa. That's always been the starting point for me because it has been the starting point for me. Um, when someone is stepping forward to attack, where do you go? If you're going to engage, I just want to see if you're familiar, because like I said, I assume everybody knows this stuff.
Well, I mean, I come from the world of like he or she who manages the distance manages the confrontation. So I'm always gonna make sure there's distance. Like, if I'm at the gas station, someone approaches me, like I'm very. It doesn't happen often, but if someone does, I always inspired to keep the distance. Like, say what you have to say. I want to listen, but like, there's a range that we're going to keep this situation. Just for my safety, for just general best.
But this is assuming you're going to engage. So the question is assuming you're going to engage,
Mhm.
and I'm coming in. You're just standing like you are now, and I'm going to come in and punch you right in the face. I
So
mean, you don't even have time to go, oh no, I'm getting out of here. No, you're filling up gas. You're looking at the beautiful scenery. Next thing you know, you hear somebody, boom, they're right on you. They're right. What? Like I always tell people, have an immediate game plan. Not and that immediate game plan, of course, shouldn't be on the ground. You're not going, like you said, you want to control that. If you
Mhm.
go on the ground, God help them.
I mean, to be frank, and I'm a little insane. So don't take how I do, but because of who I am, I generally walk through the world expecting that kind of stuff to happen. And for example, if I'm at the gas station, I keep my door open while I'm pumping gas, and I'm between the pump and the open door. I have something at the door to use if something becomes a situation, I'm prepared. I generally try to be aware of my surroundings. And yes, you're right. Yes, you can totally get. I've got caught off guard before, and when it happens, I can deal with it in the moment. But for the most part, I try to, before I get out of the car, I look around, make sure everything's. And yes, people can pop out. It happens. Um, but most situations come from the element of surprise. Most people that are going to engage with you, like, because the reality is, like, people that want to engage, like, they don't want to get hit. It's predicated on the fact that I can jump out and get you before you see me. But like, people don't want to square up. Like, they don't want to get hit in the face. That's the bottom line, and I don't blame them. Like, it doesn't feel good. Like, no one wants that, but it's that element of surprise, and literally just by being aware of your surroundings. Yes, I've gotten caught off guard before. Um, it's always worked out for me. It's not a pleasant situation, but it's always worked out. Um, so to answer your question, I'm getting gas and someone comes out of the blue. Um,
What's your game plan?
I would just react however. I mean, if yeah, I might get hit. It's okay. Get punched in the face, and it's how quick can I rebound from that and get back in the fight. Yeah, you might, and that's what we talk about when I'm in my jiu-jitsu school. It's like, look, it's a fight. You're gonna get hit. That's the bottom line. If you can mitigate the damage, that's what you're trying to do. Is try to mitigate the damage. Yes, but to be frank, the chance of someone just like, what's that term? Haymaker, you throw a haymaker that I don't see, it's a slim chance. Yes, it could happen, but again, I try to constantly be vigilant of my surroundings to keep that from happening. But if it
Yeah.
does, deal with it accordingly, and whatever happens, yeah, I'll try to block it as best I can, or not block, but protect myself to again, mitigate the damage. So, like,
Yeah.
if I just have a corner of my eye, my reaction would be to come here. I'm gonna get hit. I can mitigate the damage enough to keep my mental clarity in a manner that can allow me to address the situation at hand. So that's what I would do. But again, you can't prepare for everything. Like, yeah, sometimes, when I was in San Francisco, my first office, like, I walked out at night, I look out the door, I get out, I lock the door. I look back on it now, because I was not a fighter back then. Um, but I've always just kind of been like the honey badger. I'm like, let's just go for it. I'll figure it out as I go. That was always my mentality, even in high school. But I digress. I
The
walked,
honey badger. I'm glad you mentioned the honey badger.
so I locked my door, and I just turned, and some dude is literally standing right there in my face, and he's like, he had the the tattoos that are often associated with people that are of nefarious intentions, and he's literally just like, I don't know what he wanted, but he's like literally right in my face, and I just looked at him, and I said something very like blasé. He's like, oh, I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? I just turned around and walked away, and and I get to my car, and he's sitting there just looking at me like, what just happened? It really just by me like acting like I was not even phased by the situation. It threw him off because I didn't engage. I didn't look scared. I looked him right there. I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Walked off like the world, and frankly, I didn't. But when I got to my car, I was like, "Ooh, that was a little tense." And again, back then, this is before Muay Thai, before Jiu Jitsu, But like, I was always the kind of guy. Like, even in high school, like, I remember, um, people would do the whole like, I'm kicking your ass after school kind of thing. And now my reaction was always, let's go right now. Yeah, I was like, let's go. And literally, I think that freaked people out enough that they were like, well, maybe we should just like let this go. I mean, there's one kid, he's like, I'm
Well,
kicking.
you knew the Musashi trick at a young age.
Like, he's
But
like, I'm gonna kick your ass after school. I literally followed him in the classroom. I'm like, let's go right now. I was not my class. I'm like, let's go right now. Right now. Yeah, don't wait till then. Let's go right now. Never saw the kid again. Like, why wait till after school? Let's go right.
Justin. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just saying hello to one of the chat guys. Justin, aloha. I'll see you soon, Justin. Justin's been training with me since he was like an embryo. He's now a grown man and doing his thing in Tennessee these days. But
I,
anyway, aloha, Justin, and welcome. Um, Now, it's really funny that you went there because one of my questions was going to ask you about like any fights that you may have or have had or was able to circumvent. I think
Mhm.
that's the word. So yeah, I did. Continue, please.
No, that was it. I was just saying, like, I that's just who I am. Like, I'm not trying to be anything. Like I look people in the eye, and like I don't feel like I look threatening, but you know, again, people with nefarious intentions, they're looking for. Again, they don't want to get hit in the face. So they're looking for the weak person that's not going to fight back. And just by creating that air of doubt in their mind that this person will likely fight back, that's enough for most people to end the situation pretty quick. At least that's what I found.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, if you actually want to fight somebody, that's a different confrontation. To what we're speaking of, that's like the
Yeah,
element is
that's right.
like I'm coming out of nowhere, I'm gonna blindside you, and the while you're on the ground, I'm gonna steal your wallet and run away. Like that's really how it's probably gonna go. Someone that has a problem with you personally, it's like I don't like that shirt you're wearing, so I want to square up with you. That's a whole different situation. That one, I'm managing the distance, and if it's clear as bell what's gonna happen, even in that situation, I'm like, I just look you right in the eye and like, what's your problem? Like I'm not gonna talk myself out of it, but I'm also not. Yes, I know how to fight. Doesn't mean I want to get into a fight. Thing.
You know, my guess is that you are probably uh, smart enough that you can avoid a fight. You could even maybe talk your way out of a fight, even if it's just a few words, like "How you doing today?" Right? Or um, and then, of course, just if you don't behave in a scared manner, then and you're willing to just say, look, like you said, look a person in the eyes. That really goes a long way. Uh, and I also want to kind of recap. Oh, hold on, Justin, if you can, then that would be great. So if you can't, I understand. Just wanted to throw that your way. Um, I also want to recap something else that you said that was, I think, valuable, which is the person that controls the distance controls the fight. And of course, with every axiom, there's another axiom. You can't always control the distance, right? Then you might not always be able to control the fight. Um, yeah, Justin, let's see if you can use your superpowers on this one. We'll see what happens. uh, the one that controls the distance controls the fight. Okay, so now I want to. That is all gold. That's gold. Anyone listening? You're welcome. You just got some gold given to you. All right. Um, I want to give you something, and I'm not going to say what it is because the kind of stuff I have to give is all a matter of if you can appreciate the what I want to say, you can appreciate the mineral, what is gold? Gold is it's not a mineral, it's a
I don't know.
anyway,
Yeah, for
an
that one.
el- an
No.
element. I don't know. But I wanted to share some. you're talking to somebody that has been raised in some my mother, she just loves speaking of this person down below. Let me just go ahead and take care of that real quick. Um, oh geez. Okay, I didn't mean to do that, but uh yeah, my mother, I don't know what she's thinking. She fancies herself. Um, I'm gonna just say it. She fancies herself a white woman, and and puts herself in extreme right wing kind of situations, right?
Mhm.
So I know the right wing language really well. I know both languages really well. I don't I'm not either. So let's just get that straight as well. It's all just to me Punch and Judy, you know, Punch and Judy. It's silly. Eh, but I've grown up. One, my uncle had me fighting when I was a kid, so he can make some money, and then I grew up in the biker gang thing, you know, and then just growing up in the South, and then now the only place I feel comfortable are these redneck damn areas. It's mostly because of the mountains and beauty and everything, but for some reason, mostly rednecks in
Mhm.
these kind of areas, right? So I just, fighting is just that thing. Moving to Hawaii, that's like the national sport there. Football is not. Jujitsu took over so good. There's more jujitsu there than Starbucks, and I am not kidding. You'll see two Starbucks within view of one another. There will be at least three jujitsu schools within view. Now that's how popular Helson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is there. Huge. I've done Helson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and I've only met him like twice. So, um, so this is advice coming from that camp, of the, now, you're gonna fight. No, let's look at some realities that exist all the time when someone is about to hit you or beat you up.
Mhm.
We're not talking about sport fighting here where you square off. You had said that. Um, let's look at some realities, and I like to look at these as first principles. In physics, there's a first principle, and it's like you can't get around that first principle. It's just true.
Mhm.
Right? So let's look at some first principles in the dynamic of someone attacking us. One, they're attacking us. Sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? No, 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 no. We need something that we can hold on to, something that we can trust, that we know is gonna happen. They're gonna hit us. They're gonna grab us. They're gonna punch us, or they're gonna grab us. Now listen, this is against Sifu Z's laws. Sifu Z law number 12. I know you know it, but I'm just going to say it out loud. No punching, no grabbing. No punch, no grab. All right. Hold on. You're a martial artist and you're telling me no punch, no grab? Yeah, you're going to pay for that. Sifu Z's law says if you do any of these 12 things and if bad things happen, it's because these 12 things, you let one of these 12 things happen. So you go to my website and check it out, cfuz.com. There's the 12 laws there. You let any of those 12, if something bad happens to you as you're getting into a fight or you're fighting and you mess up, it's cost of one of those 12 laws. And conversely, if you won, it's because you observed any one of those 12 laws. Law number one, appreciate all things. Law number 12, no punch, no grab. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm standing here, first principle. You're about to attack me. Now, here's the thing about an attack. They have to move towards you to do it. There's another great principle. Another great principle. They got to move to you. They're going to hit you. You can trust it. You can embrace it. Now you got to watch for the fake, but that's a whole nother discussion. This, you might have even done one of these, right? And then boom, come in. You know what I'm talking about, right? And controlling that distance and then moving in. Okay. They're going to hit you. Two. Okay. They have to move to you. They're coming at you in order to do this. If they're doing it like with a knife or a gun and you're not seeing it, well, there's nothing you do about it. Come on. Right? Okay. Now they're moving to you. Now, when I say a plan of action, this is what I'm talking about. If I am the attacker and I'm coming to you to hit you, you have to have a game plan and it's got to be solid, something that you have conditioned yourself to do. You've conditioned yourself to just do this automatically. In fact, I do it when I greet all people, period. It's a little exercise they do. I'm coming to you here. Back up a little bit. I'm coming to you this way. I'm not bunny hopping and coming to you. No, no, no. I'm doing this, maybe, or I'm shuffling to you, right? I'm gonna get you, boy, right? Oh, these things that they give to us that we can depend upon are comfort my soul. Okay. My game of attack, you can take this on if you like. If you don't, maybe you'd like to argue the fact. I like that. Okay. You're standing there, I'm here. You are going to always, I am going to always, I'm sorry, I'm being too instructional here instead of show and tell. You're always going to go that way.
Yeah.
You're always going to go that way. You're never going to go that way. Now, never's a strong word. If there's a train going that way, guess what? You're going that way. But generally speaking, you're always going to go that way. Okay. There's also, as they're stepping forward, there's always going to be weight. There's going to be weight. They're not going to do this unless they're Wing Chun and they went to the wrong school. No, they're going to be doing this. Right? Okay. All gold there. Oh, look at all that. You've got your entrance, right? And you've got your post, like, there. Oh, you could attack this leg. It's a guarantee right there because they're coming forward. They're coming forward. You know, typically they're like this, and then they're blown up doing one of these, and then like this, right? Ah, this is where I put my hands in my pocket. What you gonna do, boy? Hey, and I do one of the most basic moves. You learn it the first day of Wing Chun. I'm doing it in slow motion, of course. Yeah, that's 1, 2. Done. Done. Because what I'm doing is I'm traveling behind that leg. And then by pivoting, without even using my hands, it turns them. Now I could headbutt the back of their and knock them out without and not have to take my hands out, or I can, take care of things in that fashion, or one, two, three, kind of lay them down on the back of their head. Okay? They're always going to give you a forward. Always go to the back. You never fight a person face to face. Kind of. Okay, now we're not talking about first principles. Because if they're not going to let you, oh, okay. go ahead and take that center line. Because listen, as a Wing Chun person, you're going to give me your center line. Okay, I'll take it. As a Jiu-Jitsu person, I'm taking your back full. At the very least, I'm taking your side. Right? I'm going quarter. On side, take your hip, go from the side. But yeah, we're not just gonna lay there flat, stand there flat. Your Wing Chun, you do. I love that because there's like that's two ends of the spectrum practically. Of like you would never just stand there like that. Yeah, in self defense you would, because from here you want to be able to move. You want to be able to move, right? You're not doing this. You're like la 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 la. Whoa, what's going on? you know. And look how quickly that happens. As quickly as they come in, boom. Yeah, it's if I had somebody to show that on, it's really quite it's almost magical. But truth be told, Wing Chun probably isn't the best well known to do that. Know who I first saw that from is, I think his name is Louis Pep. Louis Pep, a boxer from the 1910 or so. Louis Pep. And he would win fights just by moving around. He wouldn't even throw the throw. He wouldn't even punch. He would just like, whoo. And he would do that little move that I just showed you. And then boom, and the guy would just fall to the ground. And, it was the only boxer I've ever seen do that. It was back in the early 1910. And then also, if you're striking, to strike a person here, I always look at it this way. If you're going to give me your center line, you're not going too soon. So you might do those little chain punches, right? And then they're going to turn away. And then you go, go the side, continue that attack, or grapple. I don't grapple in my fights at all. I just don't, man. I mean, I love grappling. I miss being able to train. I have some students coming out this summer, and boy, are we going to do it. we're we're going to get our roll on. But I really miss it. Really, really miss it. Since COVID, I've hardly been able to do any rolling. And let me tell you, with the fights I've been getting into, it's so tempting. Oh, no. I got into one fight. I was showing a group of people Wing Chun grounding. I was just showing them the grounding and how they can really just kind of exercise just by standing with a lot of compression, squeezing, compressing, and you could get a lot of exercise that way. Jack LaLanne introduced that to the world, actually. But Wing Chun has it within their qigong. That's our whole qigong, is maintaining that core the whole time, not releasing the core. I'm sorry, I lost my thought there. Every time I think Jack LaLanne, I just lose it. I lose it. And
What you're saying, like it's you've and really with anybody, but the line between self-defense and assault is a very small line, and if someone is trying to attack you and you strike first and you damage them, all of a sudden that defense just became assault, and it can go worse than that. So my thing is really, I mean, I'm not saying I would never punch because you never know what's going to happen, but that's not my first thought. My thought with my background is to disable your ability to continue to move forward, whatever that means. And I don't want to break my hand because that's what's going to happen if I punch someone in the face, and I don't want that to happen. If that will
Right.
think about the legality of the whole thing, and that can't be dismissed in with American laws because it's I've seen it is a fine line. There's news stories now of people that in the last couple of weeks they have defended themselves and now they're in jail when they were literally defending themselves from a physical attack. So if you to what you're speaking of, if you just stop their ability to hit you, if that's what their goal is, in many ways you've won because again, most aggressors, most if they were in the situation of the aggressor you spoke of, they're gonna realize I'm probably in over my head. I should just leave now. That's what's like if you're trying to hit someone and they're doing this whole thing, you can't get a shot off. You're probably gonna say maybe this wasn't a good idea because, but it could progress past that. But the thing you mentioned where you come behind them and bring them to the ground, that's gonna end the fight right there at that point. And if the police show up, you haven't thrown one punch at all. And really, if you don't throw a punch in the eyes of the law, you're generally considered not the aggressor. And if someone is aggressing upon you and you just stop them, whether it's a choke or a figure four, something to just stop them from aggressing on you, even if you break their arm or pop their shoulder, you're still not going to be seen as the aggressor. It'll still look in the eyes of the law like actual self-defense, which is what it is. If you haul up and hit them, I mean, to be frank, you could knock them out. They could fall, hit their head, and be in a coma. Now that the whole situation just changed, and it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
Not, but the reality is that's probably what it could constitute a conversation with the law that you did not envision yourself having. Whereas if I just can stop you, the best way that I can, minimizing the damage you get, because in the long run that's going to help me too. Like that I feel like that can't be underestimated.
Yes. You draw upon some more gold, which is the reality of fighting. And again, Sifu's law number 12: no punch, no grab. If your law and your martial art doesn't let you punch and doesn't let you grab, then you have no problems now, do you? Now, here's an issue. Reality. There's an issue there. Who in Wing Chun is going to say we don't punch? Who in Jiu-Jitsu is going to say we don't grab? Who? Oh, well, me, but other than that, who? And you go, yeah, that don't make sense, Sifu Z. No wonder you're Sifu Z at the end of the alphabet. Now we know why you're not Sifu A. Wing Chun is such a beautiful martial art. It's given us, our jujitsu. It comes in waves as far as the China, as far as the practitioners. It's dependent on the Sifu, who the Sifu is, if he pays attention to the grappling aspect of the art. If he's done his homework with the Gracie Jiu Jitsu, because I've always said from day one, it only took me 9 months to go, looks like Jiu Jitsu is doing really good. Guess what my homework is? Back in 1994. Right? I've been a, I've been an avid student, still am. You know, um, the real Yes, no punching, no grabbing, but our art doesn't do that. Why? Let me explain. A Wing Chun punch, as far as my understanding goes, is the way that I approach Wing Chun. Did my Sifu teach me this? No, no. He's a smart Sifu. He goes, you know what? Certain things will be revealed, right? So these things are revealed, and he almost doesn't reveal them purposely. No revelation of it. You wouldn't. In fact, you'd say, no, that's not what your Sifu says. That's not how we do it. Sifu Z, you're crazy. Thus the Z. Yeah. All right. We punch bags and stuff, right? It's hand conditioning, right? We punch bags because we're trying to make our hands strong, right? Wrong. We're punching sandbag in order to build the density in the bones, in our bones, right? And order so, like, because the first thing that's going to happen is your hands are going to come up because you want to, have some kind of, ooh, your hands are coming up. So these things can't be too flimsy.
Mhm.
They can be strong this way, but they also have to be strong externally, being able to kind of take that kind of incoming, right? Doesn't have to be super, super strong, but just strong enough. That's why I say, ha, ha, no. Just to get the. Yeah, I also have really bad carpal tunnel from playing all the. I know I got the same thing. From bad carpal tunnel from playing music and climbing and all that. I just so abused my hands and my neck from all the jujitsu. This helps to bring back and stimulate my hands and really make them feel vibrant and good again. If I do it hard, no, that's a different kung fu technique. This is technique that comes from a little Chinese girl. Hmm. So little Chinese girl, going, yeah, no, little Chinese girl, goes, la 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 la. La, 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 la. I'm gonna make some dough. I'm gonna break some. I'm gonna bake some bread. I'm gonna do the laundry. Right? Okay. Yeah. Understand those origins, right? So, is a girl gonna hit a guy with any efficiency? She's little. You're big. You're strong. She's just cute little Chinese girl. How in the world is she going to hit you and have any effect on you? Aloha, Sheriff Cannon. That seems like a lie, doesn't it? Okay, well, it is a lie. If a girl's going to actually hit you and think she's going to do something, and her mass is this, and the opponent's mass is this, come on, that's silly. Okay, then what's up? I'm as little as a little girl, and I've been dealing with big guys. The only ones I deal with. I'm afraid of those little ones. Bite your ankles. Ow. Right? In Wing Chun, you hear me talk about grounding a lot, right? This whole grounding, right? And then mobilizing your grounding, staying grounded while you're mobilized. Hoo. Only Wing Chun teaches that. Otherwise, you're ungrounded, grounded, ungrounded, grounded, right? Ungrounded, grounded. What you're doing in Wing Chun is you're putting out a fist, putting out a palm, depending on what you got. If you put out a fist, hit it, you're gonna break your fist. So you have to then transition to palm. Sometimes heart joy, fingers. Sometimes, right? Different fists. That's why you see kung fu guys doing different fists here. Doing different. Right? It's not to condition the hands to punch the face or whatever. It's not. It's to condition the hands to just be strong enough to do the different things with your hand, right? But you're not punching, so why even bother? Well, here's the thing, you're putting it out there for them to run into. This is connected to the ground. When you touch this, you know, Bruce Lee's famous for doing a 1-inch punch. I want to be famous for doing the no-inch punch, because as soon as your body hits this, that's it. You just ran into the ground. How strong that is all relative to how much I've trained to the ground. If I have a really strong ground and I can mobilize, so my angle is proper as you're coming in, you hit this. You hit this with your intent. Remember, I said there's first principles in a street fight. Well, the first principle is they're attacking you, so you're guaranteed the attack. You're guaranteed they're going to run into this. They're guaranteed they're going to run into this. They're guaranteed they're going to run into this, right? To this, whatever it might be, right? Guaranteed. In boxing, again, you see it in boxing all the time when they go, that fight was fixed. He just touched him. Seen that before, right? Where the boxers, they think that's rigged because they just got touched. Well, that's exactly the Wing Chun that we're talking about. Is the grounding and everything was just right. All they had to do is just touch it. Imagine a pole in the ground, and you run into it, and there's the pole sticking out. Right, here's the pole. It's, you know, connected to the ground, and then you run into it, and you run into it hard because you want to do damage to that pole. But you didn't realize that that was a stupid idea. You just knocked yourself out. You just broke your own, right? Same concept. No punch, no grab, which means we're never going to fight the person. We're never going to fight the person. They are going to hurt themselves on us. If they grab us, then comes the china, where all this stuff externally, right? All this external stuff then gets turned around and it becomes internal. You know, internal. Yeah, it's so so beautiful. I'm about to weep. Yeah. Um. So, you know, the ideal of all martial arts is reached in Wing Chun. And the ideal, and what I mean by that is that, well, what about jujitsu? No, the ideal of jujitsu can be reached through Wing Chun. I say this with great confidence because a lot of my students became black belts in jujitsu. Boom, 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 really quick. Right? They had that base of Wing Chun to then go, oh, that's just double Fuke Sao. Oh, that's just Bonsal Tonsal. Oh, I know all that stuff already. Now let's put it in the context on the ground. I want to leave with this, and this is uh, 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 what would a jujitsu person care? Let's just say, listen, man, I ain't doing no stand up fighting. I ain't doing that, right? I'm gonna maintain distance. Then I'm gonna close distance. I'm gonna take him down. I'm gonna finish it that way. Okay, okay. Because yeah, everybody rolls a different way. I mean, if that's your reaction, that is your reaction,
Yeah.
right? So you can't formulate some other one and say that's your reaction, right? What what good does this Wing Chun grounding do when I'm a jujitsu player, when I'm a ground player? And boy, this is huge. This is huge. The reason why Wing Chun guys, unless they actually do grappling, Shina, jujitsu, whatever, wrestling, unless they actually do that, why do Wing Chun guys suck at grappling for the most part? Okay, here's the answer. Everything in Wing Chun is synonymous with everything you're doing on the ground, except for one thing: gravity. Gravity when you're laying down is on more has more surface than and it's substantial to us humans as opposed to this. It's why we can't lay down for too long without really injuring ourselves. You know, we have to get up. We have to get up, right? Yeah, we don't really sleep half the day unless you're sick or something, right? Because it hurts, right? Gravity is now on less surface when you're upright. So when you go down to the ground, you're also fighting gravity now. Now, here's the thing: if you've been doing your Wing Chun right, that won't be true. Because if you're doing your Wing Chun right, you're maintaining your core. And so, a great current example of this is Khabib, the MMA fighter.
Yeah.
He does a wonderful job of fighting with his core. He's not hardly even fighting up here. He's
Right.
fighting with his hips and he's fighting with his core, right? And he does a great job of just maintaining the core. And when the other guy kind of loosens the core so it can kind of get a little break, oh, then that's it. You're done because he ain't letting up on his core,
Right.
and so he just got you, right? So, the whole Wing Chun standing, right, and working that chi sa, the Siom Tao. This is actually called Kim Yima. Kim Yima. And Nimlik is the act of pulling up on the testicles and the groin and pulling them up in. So you're constantly pulling up and in, drawing from the center, really compressing your core. And it's here's the thing: it's easy to do that when you're standing. When you're on the ground, though, that becomes a very now you've got these relaxation points.
Mhm.
And it's very tempting to relax. But the reality is you shouldn't be relaxing. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you shouldn't be relaxing. You see? This should all be ready to
Right.
go. Right? You're ready to there is no ah, there is no relax, right? That's just constant. This is all in, right? So this Kimi Ma is the same thing as this. Same thing as this.
Mhm.
Exactly. When you do your shrimping, how do you get a really good shrimp? Well, you certainly don't let your core loose.
Right.
And you get your, you don't just do this, you do this. You're as close as you can to your butt and you're getting on your toes. Now, here's another thing: you don't just do this, you're doing this, you're doing this, right? Now, that gives you your point in which you can turn and you're in that position and you're also protected. You're not like this, you're here. Again, that's this. Same damn thing. Now, I wish I could take credit for exposing the jujitsu world to the fact that their jujitsu comes from China. I wish I could take credit for that. But a jujitsu black belt uh, wrote a book and beat me to the punch. So you could find that book, uh, Chinese China, written by a black belt jujitsu player. So I thank him for doing that because nobody believes my crazy ass. uh, so anyway, that's I wanted to I wanted to get that across to you because it kind of picks up from where we left off last time we talked. Um, And what I missed today, because I'm so dang long winded, I apologize. What I missed today and what I want to get to perhaps next. Are you going to come and visit me again
Oh, of
in the
course,
near?
of course, of course, of course.
Wonderful, wonderful. What I want to get to next time, and what we're going to get to next time, boys and girls, is I want to know, like, I want to know what your game plan. I asked you what your game plan is, self defense, but nobody's going to mess with you, man. You don't have that experience, that daily experience of, man, again, Cato, no, Cato, right? Me, I just call everybody Cato now because I just expect they're just gonna come out of nowhere and start hitting the little brown guy. Oh, there's a little brown guy. Cops don't mind. um, yeah, I want to know what like one of your favorite game plans is when you're rolling. That's what I want to know next. So maybe you could consider that story.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Give it a little spice, go, oh yeah, and then he tried to do this, and then I did that, but then when I did that, he did this, but oh, I knew he was going to do that, so I did this. That story. I love those stories.
All right, together.
uh Thank you very much, Ramon.
Thank you, Sifu.
You're a delight to speak with, and and obviously an inspiration. So if you're out in the Scottsdale, Arizona area, yeah, look Ramon up. If I'm in the Scottsdale, Arizona, I will be looking Ramon up. I'll give you a warning. Uh, um, and go check him out. Uh, and let's see, I think that's it. This is brought to you by SifuZ.com. Yeah, this channel actually has a .com. And go check it out and learn as much martial art, Wing Chun, as your heart desires. Maybe also next time. Well, you know what? I have to point this way in order for when this shows up for it to be pointing to you. So maybe next time also. I wanted to do that. I want to do so much every time I know you're coming. I'm like, yeah, that. But one of your favorite exercises,
Okay, of
one of your favorite ground exercises. Would you share that with us?
course.
Yeah. See, that's why you need to come back. All right. So thanks guys for joining us here. If I'm streaming pretty much daily, I'll see a doctor about it, but yeah, I'm streaming daily these days. If it's not on this channel, it's over on the Zeekers Caravan channel. And then soon I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the music channel. I'll point this way. I'm going to be over at the music channel, and I'm just going to be playing trippy music. So if you like trippy music, you'll like that. So I think tomorrow we're going to have Sifu Chad. He's going to come and train tomorrow, and he's going to share. I've asked him to do the same thing, as share some of his favorite exercises. And then we're also going to do a private session which really gets into it. But if you want to see that, you got to go over to patreon.com/cfuz. Yeah, that was an advertisement. Yes, it was. And I got to stop doing this with my fingers. It's getting weird. Right? So, and then Friday, woohoo, Friday, I'm doing a Zeekers Caravan. And I'm excited because I'm realizing that that's where I go to party in the morning. It's like that's my like party spot. So that's why, it's good that I'm doing this, kind of even things out. Because then come Friday, we're just gonna we're gonna set a horse loose. I think that's what they say out here. They go, are you boys setting a horse loose out here? So all right. Again, thank you. Aloha. and I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you, yeah, tomorrow right here on this channel, Sifu Chad, and we will arrange. Drop me an email. Let me know when you want to do this again,
For sure.
and also we could let me know which one you want to do. If you want to do Zeekers, because everybody loves you at Zeekers at this point. You're like a staple at Zeekers, so they're going to be like, "Where's Ramon? What did you do to Ramon? Did you chase Ramon away?" All right, so either way, just let me know which one, and you're always welcome. Wonderful to have you. All right, and I'm gonna share with you what I do with my students, which is it's a bon sal, it's a ton sal, and it's a pox sal. So instead of shaking hands or bumping fists or whatever, we just kind of keep our distance and we go, "Hey, bon sal, ton sal." Now, what's bizarre about that? Bon sal, ton sal, that's an ancient greeting, and I didn't even know it. I saw it in an old history thing, and they were doing this. I'm like, "That's crazy!" So, so I greet, and I also salutation out. I will do this, and it's with the greatest respect and love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Aloha.